at 6:37 PM.
All right, we'll do roll call. Jessica,
Here.
Ernest,
Here.
Jeanette,
Here.
Mary, not here. Wolfgang,
Here.
Catherine,
Here.
Suzanne,
Here.
and Andy.
Here.
Now we will recite our mission.
Act as a strong advocate to justice and equal opportunity by providing citywide leadership and guidance in the area of civil rights.
So for members of the public who attend in person are welcome to provide public comment during matters by the public, which we're heading to. Section of the agenda. The commission is currently not receiving virtual public comment. The commission welcomes comments and questions and commits to listening carefully and thoughtfully to what is presented. A maximum of 16 public comment time slots allotted for the meeting. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. The commission requests that members of the public refrain from engaging in personal attacks against commissioners and staff members and asks that comments and questions focus on matters related to human rights. We don't have any person in person to do public comment, so we will jump down to the approval of minutes from 9/21 from our regular meeting.
Great. Any recommended amendments or changes to those? Okay, we'll go ahead and do a vote. Jessica?
Approved.
I'm getting my stuff straight here. Okay. Ernest?
Yes.
Jeanette?
Approved.
Wolfgang?
Abstain.
Catherine?
Approved.
Suzanne?
Approved.
Andy?
Approved.
And we will approve the minutes from our work session.
Yep. Here we go. Jessica?
Approved.
Ernest?
Abstain.
Jeanette?
Abstain.
Mary? Not here. I keep reading her name anyway. Wolfgang?
Approved.
Catherine?
Oh, approved.
Suzanne?
Approved.
Andy?
Approved.
I just laughed because it was such a short meeting.
It was, wasn't
Didn't
it?
think it had like.
We had some minutes.
Yeah, we
Doesn't
do
it?
have minutes though.
Yeah.
All right, so it's now, business matters and, just chair updates. I'd like us to take a 1-minute moment of silence just for what's happening, in Israel and Gaza. Thank you. So the Office of Human Rights is actually going to be celebrating 10 years next month. So we would like to put together a committee. It could be 2 people where we don't have to post public comment. And do you want to select those people now or?
You certainly could,
Okay.
yeah.
And the intent for coming together is just a working group to plan out what that celebration can look like and all that.
And Lily and I will work with you on that
Mhm.
for sure to make that happen.
Of course I want to, but I want to give everyone else permission if they'd like to.
When, oh, sorry.
Yes.
What kind of, like, when would it be?
It's going to be
And, like, what kind of-
Thursday,
what kind of
November.
scale?
I don't know all the details, but Lily and Todd have more, but I know that it'll be November 30th, which is a Thursday. Keep in line with our Thursday meetings.
November 30?
Yes. I think the meeting will be to discuss what that can look like. but it can only be, we would like to only have a working group of 2 people, that we don't have to post public comment.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be gone for a big chunk of November
Right.
too, so.
We can, let's do it.
All right, me and Ernest.
Okay,
Unless you wanted to.
Will it, I have a question.
Yeah.
Will it be a public event or?
Yes.
Yeah, but it'll take the place of a meeting
No, it's after our meeting.
after the
What,
meeting?
did you want it to take place after our meeting?
we were gonna do it separately,
Yeah.
just so you could still have your meeting and
Yeah.
celebrate,
I can
in
help
whatever
on
way
this.
seems best.
All right, Ernest and I will be your working group.
Thank you. And I guess we just set our first meeting already, so perfect. Thank you
Sounds good.
both for taking out on another task. I appreciate it.
That's gonna be fun. I was just thinking about how long it had been.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
The Office of Human Rights Staff Report?
Sure. So, first, want to welcome Lily to the Community Outreach and Administrative Specialist position. So glad to welcome you into that role after more than 2 years of being an intern. So, you know the work. We appreciate it. Just want to let you know that in the monthly report that I put in the agenda, this is the 3rd quarter of the year, so it also went to council. You may have seen that in email. And I try to include in that a reminder to council that you all are receptive to anything that they may want to throw your way in terms of recommendations that they might seek from you on issues and so forth. So we'll see. I haven't gotten anything since the sending it out, but I like to continue to put that reminder out there for them.
I always appreciate you doing that.
Good, thanks. And the other thing I was going to mention was the 10-year thing, so, yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay, I
Did
was
you
like,
wanna
is there a
mention
third
it?
thing?
Oh, okay. I
No.
thought you wanted me to.
No, it was
Okay,
perfect.
sorry.
I actually appreciated that you did it. It had more flair than
Oh, okay.
I would just kind of stiffly mention it, so, great. Lily, did you have things that you wanted to share?
The outreach report in your agenda packet is up to date, and there are also in the agenda packet some upcoming outreach events that I'm planning to attend. If any of you want to table with me, just let me know.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna be gone for 3 of these.
Hmm.
I will try to attend the mass.
You should be available for the youth festival. Is that a Friday or a Saturday? It's a Tuesday. I'm still free.
For which one?
The RE festival on the 24th.
Okay.
Do you want to go table it?
Can I ask that when we send out these, when you do the dates, can you add the day
I was thinking the
of the
same.
week?
Yes.
For a quick look,
Yep.
it definitely, it would help a lot.
Lily, we're so happy to have you here.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's your turn, but can I say something?
Oh, you're the chair, of course.
But it was also your report, so
No.
I can say it.
Please, go
Okay.
forth. I'm done, actually, yeah.
So I love that these are here. I know I am absent-minded, so I'm putting it on my calendar, so it's real, it will exist. But do you mind giving us a couple of days, like, reminder email for them?
Sure, yeah. absolutely.
Because I personally feel bad that I walk away, I know it's there, and then I forget, and I apologize for that.
Do you want,
Reminders would be great.
like, 2 days in advance or 1 day in advance?
I think you can you set it, is it easy to do, can you do both in your Outlook? Like where it's can set 2 reminders, like 2 days?
I will
and 1
work
day?
on that.
Yeah, you could do a meeting invite, and then you can always just go back to the meeting invite and hit send update, and then it'll just send, so then you don't have to compose a new email.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know on Google you can do multiple, like, you can make the same thing alert
Oh,
you
that's
multiple
cool.
times.
Wow, that's
I
advanced
do that-
Outlook. I don't
do
know.
that for birthdays.
Oh, that's a good
Send
idea.
me a week in advance, and then the day of. Well, I don't know if that's on Apple, I don't know if it's on Outlook feature, but
That's good to know. That
it
we'll
could be helpful.
check it out.
Did you have more that you wanted to share with the outreach?
I think that's it.
I had a question regarding, just the overall with measurements. Let me go back, sorry. Analog methods today.
Mhm.
Todd, so as we're going through more of the year, you kind of see like what are the patterns of the information?
Yeah.
Just, it looks like you have such a high uptick of incoming and outgoing contacts in May compared to any other month. I
Yeah.
was curious as to what that might be. Is it associated with, I'm thinking like maybe the ending of the Pathways Fund might have caused an uptick, but like what else, if not that, what else might it be?
A lot of times, I'm looking at the data so I can kind of remember, and
Something like 300, like more than double.
oh yeah, it was a big one. Yeah, I can't recall. We could look at the data and actually like see who was contacting us. I would say that a lot of times when you see a big uptick, it's like one or two people that have like an intense need. And so what I would say is that oftentimes that's not a case-related need, it's probably a navigation and advocacy need. And so this is one of those things where we're trying to, we've done a lot of like internal assessment of like, how much of this stuff should we take on before we say this, we need to set a boundary here because we're going too far off. So I think that's probably, in my guess, that's what you're seeing there. Good question, though.
But do you know in these numbers, the uniqueness of them? Or you don't count them as unique?
So what you guys don't see, because like has an
It's a person.
individual entry with a name, a date, and a set of notes to
Right.
go along with it. So I could, yeah, we could easily, like from internally, we could go look and say, oh, we had, 40 visits from, or 40, phone calls, visits, whatever, from this particular individual. And so, and you can sort the whole thing by that and
Okay.
read the whole story. Yeah.
So this 189 can be potentially 5 different people that have made contact 40 times.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And so, yeah, for us, we're constantly trying to manage that a little bit, and I think it's been a learning process, which is why we track it now, because we were realizing people were just coming for things, and again, sometimes that's gaps in services, and so that's useful for us. That's why we also track like the type of navigation and advocacy that we're doing. So like, wow, this is a lot of, resource navigation to one particular agency or some sort of liaison that we're serving as. And so how do we then adjust our relationship with that agency and or explore systemic solutions to increase services? Yeah.
I remember before Victoria was hired, we were wanting to advocate with city council additional positions to help assist.
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's a great, I should have added that to my report. So yesterday, let's talk about the investigator position. So right now, the office has 4 positions, which is amazing, because I know when Charlene was here, she worked really hard just to get me up to full time. And so to have 4 positions is amazing and funded. We have an intake and administrative specialist, that's Saad Khalifa, who you may have met. If he doesn't come to the meetings just because that's not his role, but then we have our community outreach and administrative specialist, and that's Lily. And now the investigator was the next position to hire for. And so what we wanted to do was make that a position that someone could, because investigators typically require at least 2 years of investigative experience, like all investigator positions. What we wanted to do was to create an opportunity for somebody who doesn't have the experience to train up. And so it's an investigator in training position. It just closed last night, and I have a lot of applicants. And so I'm screening those now. And then we'll start
Sorry.
scheduling interviews and so forth, so,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the idea being that we wanted to give an opportunity for somebody to get into this who is passionate but couldn't access the trainings in some other fashion, because we can get it through the EEOC, through our partner, at Resolute, Mediation Arbitration. He does a bunch of investigative training. When we get the FAP, we have access to training, so it's like, wow, why can't we be that source of training for somebody who can rise through the ranks?
How's that?
Yeah, and ideally, I'm revealing the whole plan here, is that I would like to get everybody in those trainings. So Lily as well, like, we're all gonna make sure that we stay up to date on investigative trainings so that there's redundancy and continuity in our ability to handle cases. So,
Great.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's great.
It's got a plan, so.
So the bigger of what I wanted to propose is, you mentioned a lot, like, y'all do amazing work, and, hiring staff kind of helps the mitigation, but do you see in the near future where we could advocate or just help support the office to say, like, this is a recurring, like, if there's funding that needs to be put in to help support the increase of numbers?
Sure. I mean, I think as far as like caseload stuff goes right now for us, it's so much better than it was.
Yeah.
Having Saad at the
There's
front
not
desk
one person.
is amazing. And so I think the fact that we have an intake person, and once we have an investigation person, then I think we're gonna be much better at serving the public, because right now, I'll be the first to admit, like, I think some cases have, when we got super busy or other things were happening, or I gotta work on the budget, I have to push investigation work aside. And so when we have an investigation person in there, we can be more efficient. I don't know that we need additional staff at this point. I think where we'll have to ask that question again is when we enter the FAP, and to see what the caseloads look like at that point. But right now, I think it's exciting because we've never had a full house, and now we're gonna have a full house pretty soon, and that's, we'll see how that goes. So
That's great.
see how that rolls for a while and then make some decisions coming down, but thank you. I think to the other piece of your question, though,
It's still bringing it to city council's attention.
yeah,
Your
well,
work. I mean, you do buy the quarterly reports, but
yeah, and I think the other piece that I would love that, I'm thinking also ahead to strategic planning for us for next year, and what will the areas of focus be? I think I would love to, this is the first year we've collected such detailed data on navigation and advocacy, and I think that may reveal like gaps in systems, and so that may inform what you choose to advocate for. I think just a cursory look, I'm sure that there's a lot of housing navigation there. There may also be like mental health navigation stuff, and so realizing where these trends are, and people coming in the door and saying, what does that mean, and what could we do at a policy level to change that, might be helpful.
yeah,
But we'll
that's
get
what I was
there.
getting at, yeah.
When we
So
crunch
that's
the
what-
numbers, we'll
yeah.
get there.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I thought the numbers revealing something that needs to be acted upon.
Yeah, and when we can give you bar charts and pie charts to aggregate it a little bit better than,
Yeah, it was really helpful last time.
good.
And I appreciate you adding up, like, the work we've done too. It's nice to see it. You
Absolutely.
can feel like, for me, we haven't done a whole lot, but to see it on paper, you're like, okay, we have.
It's there, and I thought that was a good, an affirmation, number one, so you can say, oh, look, we have been addressing the things that we said we were gonna address, which is really wonderful. And it's also to show council what you're doing and the public, so, thanks for the work.
No, thank y'all for your work. Just a small piece of it. Is there anything else?
Mm-mm.
Okay, now we're dropping down to the, letter that we have to do the Martha rules with.
Yeah. Oh, you still have
I
it?
still have it, maybe. Wait, no, I do. Scroll back up again.
It's also right after the agenda in the digital version, if
Yeah,
you
I
need
know.
it, yeah,
But I have to scroll back up.
totally.
So, well, the proposal has been presented because it's in our agenda packet, but this is an opportunity if there's any clarifying questions that can be taken. Yes, okay.
but, second sentence, last word, accessibility. You mean like access to affordable housing? It says, significant step towards achieving our shared goals of greater racial and economic equity and more accessibility.
Or would it be something like access to housing?
Yeah, I thought maybe access to affordable housing might be the thing that was intended by that. And if not, I was gonna recommend a change.
Well, I actually think it means accessibility, as in, more housing that is accessible to all, like, that's how I read it. I think that language actually comes from, Emily Dreyfus and the click language. And I honestly read it as, because when we build more housing, much of it will have to conform to ADA. And so
Okay.
it will be both more racial equity, but also more overall
Actual ADA was meant
ADA accessibility. That's how I read it. That may not have been how it,
Yeah, some of those, like the, where they like give density bonuses and stuff, a lot of those come with requirements for ADA accessibility and things like that, so I think that would make sense, but it might be good to somehow make it a little clearer in the statement.
Yeah, the linking logic wasn't there for me between, I see what you're saying now, and I'm like, I'm on board with it, but it wasn't clear when I read it before.
yeah.
Any other clarifying questions? Yes, okay.
Last sentence, it is, we urge city council to prioritize specific zoning codes, but we don't say what those specific zoning codes are. And that was confusing to me. So I wonder if you just get rid of the specific, just put zoning codes that aim to make housing, because we're then referencing the codes that aim to make housing more affordable, other than the specific ones which we don't talk about. That's it, that's all I got.
We urge city council to prioritize these zoning codes that aim to make housing more affordable?
Sure. We either say specific and we talk about them, or we just say zoning
Mhm.
codes and we don't talk about them.
That's fair, yeah.
So what do you wanna change it to? I'm sorry.
Just get rid of specific.
Take specific out.
Otherwise, I love it.
It's great.
Well, we kinda did number 2, but are there any other clarifying questions to be taken? Okay, so, now we're at the friendly amendments are offered and discussion is allowed only on the amendments. The only one amendment that I wanted to add is that, of course, we'll add letterhead and then add what we add to most letters to city council is like, as commissioners would be asked per section 2, 4, I think that's the appropriate one, 2433. C, section 2435A2 of the. That's
yes.
that
That
language
one.
in there to say that we're doing our role to city council. That's the only thing I would add. Sorry. I'm glad we all know what I'm talking about. Are there any other amendments?
Did we resolve the accessibility?
If I was the only one that's confused, then I see what you mean by it, and I like the original intent. I don't have any recommendations to make it more clear.
So I guess I was thinking if it's, maybe state like, and provide more accessible units, housing units or something like that, where it's,
So you're recommending as an amendment to change and more accessibility to?
and provide more accessible units.
Are we talking specifically about ADA?
Mm-hmm.
So we could say
So
interest
ADA
in
accessible
more,
units.
more ADA accessibility or more, yeah. ADA accessible units.
Sorry, I was just going back to the coalition letter that we referenced to make sure that when I clumsily rewrote the language, that is indeed what was meant, and it is. So I'm confirming accessibility in the ADA sense is what was intended, and yes, we should probably make that slightly more clear.
Mhm.
So,
Catherine, are you making these updates as we're talking?
making
Do you
what?
have the document where you're making the updates?
I did not make any updates
Oh,
whatsoever.
Okay, so we're amending this second sentence to end with "and more accessible ADA units," or.
Let's see, let me look.
I believe the verbiage was more ADA accessible units.
I had it.
I feel like, sorry, I feel like units is maybe too specific, because it also addresses
Oh.
accessibility in terms of transit and
More
sidewalks and all of that.
accessibility.
So,
Fair enough.
To say accessibility.
so,
We would just add
Period.
Just add ADA in there.
I,
ADA
yeah,
accessibility.
maybe that will just fix it.
So can someone
So
say
we're-
that sentence fully?
Yeah, we're
please?
just adding ADA between more and accessibility.
Okay, perfect.
Easy.
All right, so any more amendments? Yes, Wolfgang.
I had amended to remove specific from the last
Oh,
sentence.
Yes.
Yes, sorry,
But I wanted to
yes.
put that in as a formal
Yes,
amendment.
thank you.
Yeah.
So we have 3 amendments, adding ADA, taking out the specific, and just adding the letterhead and
Yep.
our role to city council. Any other amendments?
No amendment, but, I didn't attach the referenced letter to the email that I sent.
Yes.
And, we need to do it, so I am sending you that PDF.
Okay, so the amendment though is to add the letter. when we're
Yeah,
sending
the
this.
letter says the letter is attached. So the amendment is to remember to attach the letter it says it attached.
Or only.
But do we want,
But no further changes other than those 2.
do you want to reference the letter in our letter?
We do
We
already.
do already.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not seeing it as I'm reading it. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, any other amendments?
Oh, sorry, one more. If it's not clear where the letter is coming from, we said our letter says that we support the coalition letter, but should we call out the organization too? That way it's like very clear.
It's not an organization, though. It
Well,
is
it would- it
like
was- was-
25 organizations that
okay.
signed on
I
to
see
it.
now.
Then I retreat.
Could we, I have an amendment,
Like,
that we put in parentheses, see attached,
Okay.
at the end of that sentence.
Yeah. Okay, so we're adding an amendment to this sentence. In particular, the Human Rights Commission supports the coalition letter, parentheses attached, that was sent to the City Council and Planning Commission on July 4th.
Sure.
Or the attached coalition letter that you just, yeah.
Or, yeah, even better. Supports the attached coalition letter.
Easy.
But then we also, in the second paragraph, state additional detail can be found in the coalition letter, which is attached, so that may be
Yeah.
duplicative at this point.
Hmm.
We add the first attached, we get rid of the second
Right.
attached.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's only attached so many times.
This is perfect.
We are gonna do this
So-
Martha Rule of Orders. We're not gonna move on until we're finished. Any more edits?
thumbs up with confidence.
I don't have to keep reiterating.
You're doing great. This is good. This is,
Doing the process.
this is
So
proper
we
wordsmithing.
sure no more edits or amendments. Okay.
That's hands off, not hands off, just clarifying, it's confusing. I was like, hands off. I was like, oh no, 2 hands.
I surrender. This is too much. All right, number 3 of the Martha Rules is speakers in favor of the proposal present their views. Does anyone
Aren't we all?
Okay. Speakers opposed to the proposal present their views. There's none. General discussion, debate, there's none. Okay, first vote is taken. People can vote in favor of the proposal, or can live with the proposal, or opposed to the proposal.
Is this just the straw poll vote, or is this the actual vote? How do we, I have to remember myself. Okay,
We don't have any speakers in opposition.
Yeah.
Do we need a straw poll vote?
so you could just do a full
I
vote,
think we
right?
can
Right.
just skip straight
Yeah.
to it.
Let's do that.
typically.
Yeah.
Ready for the full vote?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Jessica,
In favor of the proposal.
excellent. Ernest
In favor of the proposal.
and Jeanette,
In favor.
Wolfgang,
In favor.
Catherine,
In favor.
Suzanne,
In favor?
Andy.
In favor.
All right.
Passes.
Damn. Thank you, Catherine.
And
And
Jeanette?
Jeanette for putting this together. It makes a big difference.
Question.
Mhm.
Do you,
Oh,
do you need support to do those edits and get it on letterhead, or you guys feel comfortable making the edits? I wrote down what they were, but, just by way of administrative support, let us know what you want, and we can do it.
Karen, do you want me to take it from here, or do you want
I assumed you would, because
Okay.
you are the chair and have to sign it.
to? Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Jessica, do you want us to do those edits, then send you a final
Sure,
version
yeah.
for signature? Okay.
I mean, I can do the edits, but yeah, that's, I can do those
Yeah, yeah.
right
Do you
now.
mind if you do the edits and then send it to me? Then I can just add the letterhead and then the role of the city council.
Cool.
Did I reference the right one?
Probably. I'd have to look,
Okay.
I'd have to look
I have
myself.
it here. We can talk offline.
Okay.
Okay, so we want to see if we want to confirm for our next work session on 11/02/23. The only thing is that Todd will be virtual or out of the office.
Mhm.
Do we need that meeting? I don't know, any current things we're actively, letters we're writing? Do we need that meeting?
Could be.
For what?
Uh,
So no?
No.
Okay, so
I don't know.
confirm we won't need the work session on 11/02/23. And is there any new business? I have none. All right.
Yes, have some events from Charlottesville DSA to promote.
Oh.
That's the time for that.
But no, can you wait till,
Yeah.
commissioner updates?
Sure.
We have no public comments, we have no public in person. Then we're gonna go to commission updates.
Great. Okay, Housing First and Homelessness in Charlottesville. It's an event that's hosted by the Haven. DSA is also promoting it. It's going to be on November 13th, on Monday, from 7 to 8:30, and it will be in person. I can send out the event, and like the RSVP details if you'd like. There's also going to be an open house. Don't have all the details on this because it's just a screenshot that somebody sent me through DSA. An open house at Market Street Park for the residents there who are hosting it, I think from 12 to 2 p.m.
What date?
This Saturday, the
Saturday.
21st. That's what I've got.
Any other commissioner updates? All right. Next steps are that I will send this letter to city council, and Ernest and I will meet to start planning for a 10-year anniversary for the office. And it was all what you do. Did I miss anything? Okay. All right, we will adjourn at 7:12 p.m.